Here's the thing, most guys will think you need more protein. You need to be eating meat because you don't get much protein from plants. The problem here is not getting enough protein. The problem is that most guys... Hey guys, Anthony here and welcome back to my channel. I'm going to talk about how to build muscle as a vegan and how to actually get to that next level of building more muscle. And on a plant-based diet, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're eating. It doesn't matter how much protein you're having. Yes, if you're not having enough protein and you're not going to effectively build muscle, it's not going to effectively repair, but your body will adapt to whatever you provide and whatever you consume. So to think about this, how do you build muscle as a vegan? A lot of the things like how much protein should you consume, a lot of these things don't exactly matter. Because if you simply take a powdered protein, let's say 30 grams of protein per scoop, and you're eating a lot of highly processed foods, you don't have much energy throughout the day, you don't have much energy to fuel your workouts, this protein then doesn't really matter. Hey, if you don't have enough energy, you then will most likely skip one of the sessions throughout the week. And if you're skipping, let's say 1 out of 3 sessions, that's about 33% of your gains for that week lost. And then if you're losing the potential to gain muscle, you're then losing that consistency. And in order to gain muscle, you can't be skipping too many sessions. You can't be taking 1/3 of those gains out of that week. But with most guys, the problem is coming home, being too tired, wanting to binge, they're too stressed from work, and a lot of these other factors are holding them back. So consistency is one. That's one of the major problems with building muscle, whether on a vegan diet or eating meat, it doesn't really matter. Number 2 is protein. A lot of guys think that it's more protein that they need, but in reality, they need to consume more whole foods as one of the major foundations to having more energy. You should be eating more of the original source of that food. With whole foods, you get low GI, which means these foods take a longer time to break down inside of your body, which then will give you more fuel consistently throughout the day. It will stay in your body, keeping you fuller for longer, and as it breaks down, it gives you that little bit of energy throughout the day. Whereas highly processed foods is the exact opposite. It gives you that spike, and then your energy levels deplete, you feel sluggish. And so whole foods, it's gonna put you on top of the game. Most guys eat highly processed foods. They'll dive into crackers. And if you go from a meat-based diet to a plant-based diet and you're taking the same habits, those bad snacking habits, to a vegan plant-based diet, it's going to be the same. You're going to feel sluggish. You're not going to get enough nutrients. And those people who go plant-based, they go plant-based and then they go back to a meat-based diet because they simply don't know and they're not educated on how to consume foods to fuel their body and give them the highest amount of nutrients possible. And so whole foods, longer lasting energy, gives you the nutrients that your body needs to fuel your workouts, to push a heavier weight, to push an extra rep. And as a result, pushing an extra rep, pushing a heavier weight will allow you to then take your body to the next level, to give your muscle another level and dimension to then adapt to, something that your body is not used to. This is how muscle is built. Progression. This leads us to the next point. Progression is where you take your body and you take the next set of weights, you give it to your body, and your body will slowly adapt. It might be shocked, it might be super heavy, but if you allow time, so between your workouts, your body will slowly adapt, it will repair itself. Given that you sleep enough, given that you have a good sleeping routine, you sleep 6 to 8 hours, you allow your body to adapt, you allow your body to repair. So sleep is one of the biggest things with building muscle. 6 to 8 hours every single night, sleep around the same time every day where possible. Depending on your circumstances, you're going to maximize your muscle gain. And again, it might come down to progression, being able to lift heavier weights, being able to lift more reps. If you don't have all these other things in place, like your sleep, whole foods, these 3 things are the key factors to building more muscle. But obviously, if you're watching this video, you're interested and you're intrigued in a plant-based diet. Perhaps you already started, perhaps you're wanting to transition and you're wanting to know whether or not you can actually build muscle. Over the past 6 months or so, I've been able to do that. I've been able to consistently increase my muscle mass. I mean, you might want it fast. You might want it within the next 2 to 3 months. If you're only going to be consistent for 3 months and then you drop off. But what's the point if you're going to not be consistent? So it really depends on what goal you have in mind, whether you want long-term muscle gain or you want short-term muscle gain. For me, it's muscle gain for life. I'm gonna eat just enough protein to be fuller for longer. This is something that I highly recommend. If you're just like me, you don't want to focus on having a high protein consumption, you don't want to be consuming powdered supplements to supplement your diet to give you more protein. You know, you kind of just want to eat real food. Try to get as much whole foods as you can into your diet. Try to limit your processed foods. For example, if you're having foods that aren't highly nutritious, that are just made from flour. Flour doesn't really have that much nutrients in it, like pasta, noodles. These things are things that you should limit, and then bombard those meals with foods that are highly nutritious, like vegetables. Throw in more protein. Once you have your diet and your whole foods down packed, how do you then optimize your sleep? Substances like tea and coffee, things that might keep you up at night, to then get enough sleep to wake up the next morning to set you up to push a heavier weight tomorrow. So that's the second thing that you should be focusing on, sleep. These things go hand in hand. You can't go for whole foods and not go for sleep. You must raise the bar for both of those things to keep yourself accountable. Number 3 is progression. If you're not simply wanting to push to the next rep range or push for a heavier weight, it's just gonna be hard to give your body that next level thing to adapt to. You're gonna need to wanna push a heavier weight. Even though it might feel a little bit scary, you could ask for a spot. But progression, putting your numbers down in your phone, that's not having to remember and having to think about, hey, what weight did I push last week? It's also gonna give you motivation if you're putting it in your phone. You're able to see the progression that you've made since day number 1. You're also gonna know how many reps you've done, because all these little numbers, it's gonna go over your head. You're not gonna be able to remember every single one. So I highly recommend writing these things down. Progression. How do you progress from 50 kilos to then a 52.5 kilo bench? How do you do that? Because in order for you to build muscle, you're gonna have to push to the next level. So how do you progress? Let's say you do 5 reps of 50 kilos today. The next session, hopefully it's 2 to 3 days later, allowing your body to repair and rest. 52.5 kilos, perhaps you're going for 1 rep. In my eyes, that is a progression. You don't have to go to 10 reps or 15 reps before you try to up that weight. Personally, I would recommend whatever works, go ahead and do that. But for me, depending on your workout, depending on what you're following, progression from one weight to the next. You might even want to do 50 kilos and aim for 6 reps. Whatever that next level is, go for it, aim for it. So now hopefully you have 3 tips or 3 mistakes that most guys make that stop them and hold them back from building more muscle. So with these 3 things in mind, whole foods, rest, and progression, you can see how they go hand in hand. If you can't, here's how they go hand in hand. This is how one thing without the other is not going to allow you to build more muscle. For example, if you eat well, but you're not getting enough sleep, you're gonna be sleep deprived, you're gonna be tired, you're gonna feel sluggish. Even if you have coffee, your body's gonna adapt. Once your body has adapted to coffee, it's not gonna be as much of a kick as you used to get when you first started drinking coffee. And so coffee without the sleep, you're still gonna feel sluggish. It's not, your energy levels aren't going to last for very long. So that's the first example. The second example is if you're getting enough sleep, but you're not really trying to progress. You know, you have all this energy, but you're kind of lazy, you don't really want to push heavy, you're not motivated, you know, you're kind of stressed. You know, you're just going to the gym and you're just lifting random weights. This is also not going to allow you to build more muscle. As an ex-personal trainer, I've seen guys come in and they lift random weights and they're doing random reps. There's no real sense, there's no real purpose of what they're doing. And they come in, the only thing that gets bigger, not trying to be, you know, negative towards them or negative in any way possible, but the only thing that gets bigger is their gut. because they don't have their diet down packed. They might be eating whole foods, but chances are they're eating a lot of processed foods. So a lot of these processed foods will actually make you feel more hungry, will make you eat more, won't give you the right nutrients that your body needs, it won't make you feel fuller for longer. And so what happens is that you now feel hungry after an hour, you want to eat again, you want to snack. And again, with low energy levels, you're not going to be able to push a heavier weight. So to simplify this entire video for you, whole foods, rest, and progression. These three things are probably the most important things that I believe are crucial to building muscle as a vegan. And I know some of you, maybe a lot of you, will doubt that. Some of you will probably start to believe that. But the only way you'll actually believe that is if you actually apply these three things, is if you stay consistent with working out, going 3 days a week or 7 days a week, whatever it is that you're doing. I mean, personally, I highly recommend doing 15 minutes, 7 days a week, or even 6 days a week, having that one rest day. I mean, if you want me to go into detail on this workout in my next video, then let me know in the comments down below. I'll be more than happy to do so. I just need a show of hands to tell me that, hey, I'm interested, I want to know more. If that's so, let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like this video and make sure you subscribe if you want more videos just like this. I'm planning to make consistent content. I mean, that's a big thing for me to say right now, but hey, I do want to make an impact on the vegan community, especially because I've gone vegan this year and I found that, hey, I should be contributing to the vegan community because I want to see it grow. I want to see you guys prosper. I want to see you guys level up and be able to take this good that you're providing to the animals, you know, spreading good vibes. I want to be able to contribute to this community. And this is one way that I found is probably one of the ways that I feel the most passionate about, and it's about being strong, lean, and healthy. If you resonate with that, make sure you subscribe. My name's Anthony. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got some value out of this. I mean, if you need some clarification on something that I mentioned in this video that maybe I didn't exactly explain it too well, or I didn't go into depth, let me know. Also, this is just the start. I mean, there's so many more factors out there. There's so many more elements to actually building muscle. This is just something that I wanted to share. I came across a video similar to this, but I also wanted to share my perspective, and I wanted to transform my experiences and my knowledge into a video just like this. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. I won't give you energy fuller for longer, right?